Abraham, what is it more broadly about the left-wing ideology that is so compelling that young women seem to receive it openly? And we see this with the gender divide or the sex divide. Young men are very much more to the right, young ladies very far to the left. What explains that?
What I think explains that, I'm reminded of something Jordan Peterson said in 2017 with Kathy Newman, where he said, in order to think, you have to risk being offensive. In high school, coming out of high school, even in college, you have to be able to go to war, in a sense, to defend ideas that make sense. It's a lot easier to just participate in an ideology that, for lack of a better term, just calls you a good person as a result of being a part of that ideology. So if you were to join, let's say, a group of people that their fundamental landscape of thinking is morally relativistic, but all you have to do is sacrifice your individual identity. They call you a good person, and once you engage in that type of thinking, you can call yourself a hero. You can pretend as though you're righteous without having any actual merit. This is the reason why I think you saw her act so psychopathically in front of you, and it functionally is psychopathy, ideologically induced psychopathy, where you see her believing that she is the righteous one, that she is the good one, that she is the one who has merit and is acting out coherence, despite talking to a literal billionaire, Vivek Ramaswamy, and yourself, who are talking about ideas really on a surface level. You're talking with her on a level that is elementary, let's just say, because that's the most she can handle, and yet she still believes she's better than you. This is due to the fact that their ideology says you are above reality, you are above having to make sense. And that's a very compelling young message to feminine personalities. So you see this not only with women, but also with men as well that have effeminate personalities, that they would rather pretend to be heroes than do the work to be actually meritorious or virtuous. And this is something that I saw personally, even in my high school growing up. So I actually went to the same high school that Elon Musk's son, Xavier, the school that turned his son trans, went to. And this is something that was rampant. And when I first discovered Jordan Peterson, which is really what set me on the path that resulted in me in not being a leftist, I was in 11th grade. I remember where I was sitting. But in that same classroom, we had a teacher that told us that paper was racist because it was white. We were deconstructing book analysis, but instead of engaging in ideas, that's the level that we were engaging on. Because again, to engage in logic, reason, rationality is to risk being offensive. And to these people, being offensive means you have to defend ideas. Once you defend ideas, then it's clear that there's a truth. And then once there's an objective truth that is external to the ideology, that's unacceptable. So this is a very compelling young message for effeminate personalities, especially low verbal IQ personalities. A bit of research that Peterson referenced in 2021 that really stuck with me was proclivity to abide in left-wing authoritarianism is positively correlated, very strongly positively correlated, in fact, with a feminine personality distribution and low verbal IQ. And so this is the reason why you see, I'll just be honest, so many podcasts and characters and they're not just characters, I don't mean that in a disparaging way, but people like Andrew Tate, et cetera, that are speaking out against this effeminate programming, or you could call it a psyop of civilization, because once you reject the necessity to risk being offensive, then you can basically program people with whatever message you want, and at the same time, of course, destroy the nuclear family and any resistance to this heinous groupthink.
So Abraham, about a minute remaining. This is the difficulty, you're pinpointing it. And the video is very clear. How do you win them over if they don't believe in dialogue?
Yes, that's the question. That's what, right. So the answer to that, I think, is that you have to enforce consequences, because since we're essentially looking at induced psychopathology, these people are functionally psychopathic since they believe that they are above reality. That is the definition of a psychopath. If you think about it, psychopath says that I don't have to care about other people because I am better than them. These people don't think they have to care about reality because they think their ideology supersedes reality. And so the only way to cure this, the only way to get over it, I think, is to enforce consequences, given that, approximately 2% of a population is psychopathic at any given time. They don't care about hurting other people. They only care about what will happen to them. They only calculate in their head, what can I get away with? And this is the reason why we have laws, is so that there are consequences. I think that the consequences that we must enforce on these people, first is electing Donald Trump, because this is the only way we can combat these heinous freak shows and lunatics, is to get him in office, because he will enforce consequences. But beyond that, we just have to demonstrate to these people we are not afraid. And I think that this is why your conversation is so important. We are winning back the expectation that we are not somehow in the wrong for calling out girls as broken as the one you spoke to, as she's clearly not virtuous.